If you're interested in betting on horse racing but don't know where to get started, you're in luck because horse racing betting expert Barry Abrams is joining us today to break down some of the basics. So, Barry, what's a good starting point for someone looking to get into betting on horse racing?
The most basic form of wagering would be to bet on a horse to come in first or second or third. Win, place, show. Obviously, that could be first, second, third, gold, silver, bronze, however you want to think about it. You could bake a $2 bet, that's the minimum bet in horse racing, on a horse to come in first. So if you bet the number 5 horse to come in first, you look at the odds that horse has. If the horse is 5-1, and you bet $2, you're going to get back 10 plus the 2 you invested. You'll get $12 back in your hand. Now, that means the horse has to finish first. If you're not so sure or you want to take a little bit less of a risk, you could bet the horse to come in second, meaning a place bet. Now, the horse could come in first as well as second if you make a place bet, but if you do that, you're not going to make as much money. You'll make something, not quite as much because it's a lower risk bet. Now the horse can come in either first or second, so you can bet the horse to place. And if it finishes either first or second, you win something. You can also bet the horse to come in third, show, to come in either first, second, or third. You don't get more money if the horse comes in first if you make a show bet, but you obviously have a better chance of making back something because now the horse can finish in one of the first 3 places and it doesn't matter which one. So that's the easiest way. And sometimes when you go to the track and you're not sure you like this horse, you don't know where exactly he might finish, but he's going to finish well, you might what's called bet across the board. Maybe a $2 bet to win, $2 to place, $2 to show. And if you have a horse with somewhat higher odds whom you like, then you will probably make back more than the $6 you've invested, win, play, show at $2 each, if the horse comes in anywhere. So that's the most basic form of betting. Now, if you want to get a little bit fancier, you could pick the first 2 finishers in a race. Not just the winner, but maybe the horse that comes in second as well. In some jurisdictions, that would be called an exacta. In some places, it would be called a perfecta, depending on where you're listening and where you're betting. You could, let's say, pick the number 3 horse to come in first and the number 5 horse to come in second. That's your exacta bet. If you like both of those horses, but you don't know which order they're going to come in, I like them both. Maybe the 5 beats the 3, maybe the 3 beats the 5. You can bet it both ways, which is called a box, a 3-5 exacta or perfecta box. Now, the minimum bet in racing is $2. And so a $2 bet on the 3-5 and a $2 bet on the 5-3 would cost you $4. But, and the terminology here is a little tough to understand, but just follow it with me. You can make a what's called $1 box, meaning you bet half and you get half. So $4 would be your standard. You can make what's called a $1 box, meaning betting the exacta or perfecta both ways. It will cost you $2. It would normally cost 4, you're betting it for half, that's 2, and you would get half if that comes in. So that's one additional what's called exotic bet that you can make. You can go a little further with that and make a trifecta bet or a superfecta bet. Trifecta, you pick the first 3 winners. Superfecta, you pick the first 4 finishers. Now, then you get into what is that going to cost, and there are all kinds of permutations therein, and uh, we can go down that road, but I'm guessing we want to keep this somewhat short.
Absolutely. So, Barry, what type of research should people be doing before placing their bets?
Well, the data for racing has been available for over 100 years. The database of past performances, and you can get them from a number of different places. The most obvious is the daily racing form. You can also, when you go to the track, just buy a program if you're going to the track, and you will get the past performances. And the past performances will tell you so much. They're a little difficult to read. You need to learn how to read one of those, but you can get all kinds of information about how the horse did in his previous races. And the main thing I would pay attention to is maybe you've heard the term in general, not just in racing, power rating, that certain things are given power ratings to determine how good they are. In racing, there are what are called speed figures, which are basically power ratings. They're very complex mathematical formulas that try to equate horses running in track A versus track B. It was fast on that track one day, it was slow on this track another day, it was raining here one day, it was not raining here another day, and all of these things are factored into these very complex formulas so that you can compare apples to apples. And when you look at the speed figures, which are usually a number in bold in most past performance charts, that will tell you how good that horse was on that day, and over the course of all the past performances, how consistent that horse has been over his or her career. And that will be a really good gauge comparing horses who have run in different places and at different distances and on different tracks and all of that to see who's really worth betting on.
Okay, Barry, thank you very much for joining us today. Where can we find some of your work at?
I do a daily commentary on racing, 1 minute. That's all it is, 1 minute on YouTube, and it's called The Far Turn. I do it in the form of a four stanza poem. So I hope to entertain, not just inform.
Okay, that is fantastic for all your horse racing needs. Make sure you keep it locked on VegasInsider.com. Good luck out there.